Hey, Curvies. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in, ring the bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that I'm growing over here in the YouTube streets. I'm so glad that we did meet. Oh, my curvies, I love you so. I missed you so much. Don't you know? My curvies, how you been? My curvies, I hope you're winning. Curvies, curvies, that's the way I have to say to you today. I hope you're winning. I hope you're great. Curvies, I know you're happy. It's Friday. I hope that you're winning because you know that there's enough to go around. Curvies, I know you're winning while the earth is spinning round and round. Thank you for coming through and spending your time with me. Oh, Curvies, I'm so happy that we are we. All right, Curvies. Okay, that was all off top. I'm feeling a little showgirly today. I do all genres of music off top, people. I have many concerts. I have many global concerts. Global. I'm talking global concerts. All the time in my mind. And I am very able to entertain myself, even though I have siblings. You think your girl was the only child. You would think your girl was the only child. But no. Your girl has siblings. Yet, I can entertain myself and everybody else. Okay, Curvies. Okay. Let's see. Is that better? I think that's better. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Hi, Curvies. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. Okay? I am so glad you're here. Oh my God, did you see it? No way. I'm going to fix that and show you anyway. Yay, I love you. Look, I have made my own little things for when I'm in Zooms instead of press the button. Because, yeah, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. That's kind of my motto. Yeah. A lot of people don't believe I'm really, really old. But anyway, I'm so glad to be with you guys today. Thanks for coming in. I am still looking for some things. But, oh yeah, here it is right here. This. I'm pretty much like Amanda Seals at this point. I'm an adult self-diagnosed ADD. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, that explains everything. That explains everything. Okay. There. Luckily, I had a glue stick. Because I used to be a Girl Scout. Anyway, there's lots of stuff happening in the political world. Okay. And I'm here to tell you about it. Okay. So let me tell you this. Yes, I do know my glasses are chipped. Okay. My other glasses broke. And I have my cat eyes here, but I'm not feeling very cat eye. I'm not feeling very cat. Oh, here they are. Let's see. How are you guys? My sister used to be the squinter. Now I'm the squinter. Not to be confused with squirter. even though we do that too. Okay, so those are good. Those aren't chipped. These have that chip in them. So the craziest thing, I had to order some new glasses. All my glasses broke. Praise God, because I did want some new ones, and I was like, I'll wait. And so then it became mandatory. So then I got to finally order new glasses. But you don't have to create situations. You can pretty much just go and get what you want because there's enough to go around. Okay, Curvies. Thanks for coming through. I keep saying that. Yes, it's 5 minutes in. I was letting the time accumulate because what we're going to be talking about today is potent. It's very potent. It's very, very potent. Okay. And the reason it's potent is because there's 38 days left. Yep, 38 days left before we get to decide who we're going to date for the next 4 years, you guys. Who are we going to date for the next 4 years? As far as because that's really what it is. It's a relationship for 4 years that we're going to be committing to with one of these people who is running for presidente. Okay. And I'm like, what's going on? What is going on? I am catching Chanel Lyons live for us. Just a second. Yes, I'll try to come back tomorrow again and just show you guys some things that I'm very professionally. Okay, love you. How's Paris? It was raining a lot, right? Since I've been here. But yesterday it was sunny a little bit. Today's been a bit sunny. But I love Paris. I think it's my favorite city in the world, to be honest. I like the fact that, I read somewhere it would be a third world country if it wasn't the money from Africa, like all the money that we pay to come here, So, but it's beautiful. It's like a lot of museums. I'm gonna go to museum tomorrow with Haj. Show him Mona Lisa. I took him when he was 7 or 8, so I think now he'll enjoy that. Sightsee if it doesn't rain. I just love Paris. Beautiful place. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for being here. Take good care of yourself. Be safe. Okay, and be the bitch. Okay, don't take nobody's shit. Be the bitch. Okay, love you. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about it. So that was Chanel Ion going live. And there. Okay, so today we are here to talk about what's happening on the politics in my POV. Okay, according to me, that was easy. It's a really easy choice. All we have to do is look at it like a relationship. That's simple. That's exactly what's going on. Who do you want to be in a relationship with for the next 4 years? Do you want your boyfriend or girlfriend for the next 4 years to be thoughtful and love their mother and have great communication skills and are trustworthy and honest and what they say is solid and you can trust it because that's then what happens. They don't like go back on their word just to get in your panties and they're cheating on you with so many other people and they're financially abusing you. Yep. Only thinking about themselves, but then coming back to you and saying, oh, I'm doing all I can to be a better person and I want to be with you. Simultaneously continuing to give all the money that's for your relationship to somebody who's not in your relationship, who you didn't say or consent to having your financials spread to them like a mistress situation, and she's set up in a penthouse and you're in the burbs in a 2013 needs to be rehab mod home. Do you want to be in that kind of relationship for the next 4 years? I mean, it's really like, that's what it's really like, what it's really like. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. Is that's like one of the analogies I came up with is like, okay, I told you guys how my mother specifically, Mama Curves, she was like, now Larja, it's kind of vulgar the way that you say the two booty cheek thing, because yeah, that's a little vulgar. And I'm like, but Mom, that's just like such a great visual that the current duopoly is two cheeks of the same ass, and America is the stripper, and the booty cheeks are clapping. Okay, okay, and it's all a show. They're not going home with you. Nope. All they want is your money. Stripping for your money on a pole. Okay, and to me, I'm like, we have other options. Not that there's anything wrong with getting your money or being an exotic dancer. There's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is that by the time you get to like presidential statuses, perhaps the stripper mentality should not be the first mentality we're dealing with. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, really. Okay? So, what? So, let's see. This week, Janet Jackson. Oh, first, you know what? Let me just do this solid for Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Ha ha. Kamala ha ha Harris. Kamala ha 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 Harris. I think she got a cackle coach though. I'm pretty sure she got a cackle coach, because the debate she did not cackle a lot. So it shows she can control it. And if she can control it, then she should be doing a lot more answering of the questions and a lot less cackling. Hereforth to thou art. Okay. Anyway, subjects. Kamala got a policy. She got a platform, which she calls issues. And it shows the thought process to me, because a platform is something that you take off from, right? Let's just look at that first. Yeah, I'm gonna even dissect that. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Just to get to the like, because I really feel like words are like kind of like like they have power. Like there's like power in what we say, right? So for her, Kamala Harris, to finally have policies, yay. So glad she has policies. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going here. Let's go here. Let's share this. But we're starting with this. We're going here first. Oh my gosh. So now when I go to Kamala Harris, still doesn't have a www. Has these nice big grins though. And I already told you this is kind of it's so interesting. There's not a lot for her to smile about, but she stays smiling. That's good. There's power in positivity. We know that. There's power in positivity. Okay? But it's also a little off-putting. Oh. It's also a little off-putting that did you guys see this movie? And when the people smile at you, that's when there's the problem. Did you guys ever see that movie? Now, I messed around and watched it. My husband likes horror movies, so I messed around and watched it. And uh, yeah, so when the person smiles at you, that's when the problems start happening. See the lady smiling? It's going to be a problem. See the lady smiling? It's going to be a problem. See? Smiling? It's going to be a problem. Oh, oh. So that's kind of like my joke about this smile thing that she does. But she still doesn't say anything, in my opinion. This is all in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment purposes and satire, and all said with love. And I'm just saying this so we can know about other options and just like, the little things that had like my spidey senses up, just about the options that are currently being forced under duress. I'm being coerced under duress, trying to forcefully not earn my vote, but take my vote like I owe it to a Democrat, like I owe it to a Republican. Like those are my only two options. You know what? I've evolved. I was just telling Mama Curves, you know what? This election cycle, this right here, it's kind of like my personal 666 moment. I went to all parochial schools, and they would show us movies about the end of the world and about when the rapture happens and about when you're supposed to come and take the mark of the beast. You had to get 666 on your forehead or on your hand or something, right? And I was like, this right here, this election with everything that's going on in the world and the sameness that's continuing to happen in my face, regardless of who I vote for or what they say is going to happen, what really changes nothing. But they got my vote. And they're not doing nothing for me specifically, but they supposedly are me. And we're going to go over what Candace Owens found out. Shout out to episode 70 over at Candace Owens' house, which we're going to go over via Kwame. Yes, Bus Life Brown. So we'll get to that. But we're going to get to her policies also. So I feel like it's great that she has policies. And I said, if she got them and they were good, I was prepared to have my crow fried before I ate it. Okay. Because I hear it's a little gamey. So she got some policies, you guys. So now you go to her website, and on here, you'll see. Well, she says 39 days left, but if you ask Surrey, she took me to a site that said there's 38 days, 16 hours, and some minutes left. So then, remember last time I was like, oh, she starts with asking for money. She does still ask for some money, but look, now she has, you can find an event. She did not have that. She had that at first, but then it went away, and now it's back. So this is not my zip code. You can go knock on doors for her. if you want to. This is what she was talking about. She has our platform. Oh, I had to download a freaking something to learn more. No way. She makes me download something to learn more about her damn policies. You better not. Anyway, remember last time she had meet Kamala, meet Tim, and then she had, you could, I don't think there was a volunteer last time. I think it was like, um, there was a store and then there was donate, and she still has the donate. This is just the front page. Now let's get to her issues. Notice that word issues. Let's look that word up real quick. Curvies. I have some time with you today. You know how we like to do. Let's get into issues. Issues, definition, meaning. Issue is a noun. Okay, let's see.
Issue.
Okay, we are saying it right. Okay. Vital or unsettled matter, economic issues, concern, problem, matter that is in dispute between two or more parties, the point at which an unsettled matter is ready for a decision, the thing or the whole quantity of things given out at one time, the act of publishing or officially giving out or making available, offspring, progeny, issue, died without issue, a discharge of blood from the body. I didn't know that. Means or place, exit, outlet. And all these are all still under issue, you guys. The action of going or coming or flowing, egress, something coming forth from a specific force, deed. Final outcome usually constitutes a solution as of a problem or resolution as of a difficulty. The final conclusion or decision about something arrived after consideration. Archaic, termination, end. Issues, plural, precedes the source of revenue, such as an estate. Issueless. Distribute, usually officially. Send forth a sale, circulation, to cause to come forth. Consequence, final outcome. Appear to be available through being officially put forth or distributed. Descend, parent, ancestor. Okay, so issue. So she calls her things issue. Let's look up platform while we're in here because other people are calling them platforms. Let's see. So a platform, flat horizontal surface, raised flooring, an elevated area next to a railroad track, a device structure incorporating providing a platform, specifically as a structure or legs used for offshore drilling, declaration of the principles on which a group of persons stands, especially a declaration of principles and policies adopted by a political party or candidate. Imagine that. There's an actual word for what she's doing, and she decided on issues because I was over here talking stuff about her not having a platform. So she's like, well, I got something for the people that say I don't have nothing. I'm going to give them, and I'm going to call it issues. But there's a word for what you're supposed to be doing. So you see how, like, waiting to have a platform for 53 days after you've been installed as one of my options. And then coming up with something to tell me and telling me that we got issues already and you just coming to me. So this is back to the relationship thing. The relationship of it all is you starting off with issues with me. Why not just start off with the declaration of your principles on which you stand? The Republican Democratic platform. She was supposed to, why is she coming up with issues? We're going to look at it. She's running for office on a platform of reform. She could have been running off of a platform, but she's coming to you with issues. And then I'm going to point out to you how it's still going to be under fear mongering and duress a little bit, because you're already coming to me with problems. Okay. And then after every problem, you're going to try to scare me like, oh, ain't no other man going to want you, with the Project 2024 and adopting and Trump being to do with that. It's already happening, people. Trump 2025 is already happening. Rather, I had said 2024 a second ago. But, Project 2025, trying to scare me with Project 2025. So you show me an issue, you show me our problems, and then not really offer us a solution, but follow it up with, well, look, this is all your other option is. So like the lesser of two evils, the lesser bad, like at least I don't hit you in your face kind of shit. Okay? 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 But it's almost like there's a refusal on the part of Ms. Harris, Vice President Harris, to participate the way that it's already set up. Like you didn't come with nothing. Then by the time you get it, you want to rename it to something else. And fearmonger within your issues by following it up with, well, there are other options, only 2025, so I'm the better one. I'm telling you, this relationship, if we do go forward with either of these relationships, as far as the duopoly, the booty cheeks on the stripper of America, if we do decide to go forward with that, then hey, you get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. So let me see, where is mine? Here it is. So it goes on to say that not only is it a declaration, especially for a candidate, it's a means or opportunity to communicate ideas or information to a group of people. But you want to just tell me about the problems, the issues. Okay. Which it did say there was it said the issues. And you can talk about it for solutions. But what are your solutions other than the threat of Project 2025? Because we're going to look at your opportunity economy, which is sounding a lot like trickle down my ass. Okay. Yeah. Sounding like a lot of word salad, more croutons than I need. Okay. Because I haven't heard anything, not really, about an immediate effect for the American people going after price gouging. It's been happening while you're there, ma'am. That's what I don't understand. Like, you're talking about all this stuff that's happening while you're in the house that you're telling me that you're going to stop it from if you get back in the house. I don't understand, ma'am. I'm like just gobsmacked at the audacity of it. Let's continue with the etymology of platform. Grounds or basis for further action. See how this is like already more positive? A platform, thick layer between the inner soul, shoe, operating system. The architecture and equipment using particular operating system, application, or website serves as a base for service provided. A vehicle used for a particular purpose to carry usually a special kind of equipment, a basic pattern. upon which an automobile class is constructed. There's a design, okay? He stepped up to the platform. She stepped off the thing on the platform. The train is on the platform. The party adopted a platform. The company plans to use the show as a platform to launch its new soft drink, okay? So let's get back to Kamala. Kamala. Let's see. Here she is. Let's go here. Let me make you happy there. Let's see. Let's see. So we're back over here, and we are to her issues. See here up at the top, it says issues. That's a shame. You can't even type smile in your browser without it trying to give you a problem. Okay, so she's saying some blah blah. Let's see. Look, I'm like blah blah. Okay. Vice President Harris fighting for a new way forward that protects our fundamental freedoms, strengthens our democracy, and ensures every person has an opportunity to not just get by, but to get ahead. Okay. She's always stood up for people against predators, scammers, and powerful interests. She's also incarcerated innocent men and refused to let thousands of people go when they needed to fight fires for free. Okay. And locked up single mothers, causing them to get evicted and the daughter to have a stroke because she already had sickle cell. The Cherry story, check it out. Okay. So, but I guess she also went against predators, scammers, and powerful interests. Okay. Um, she wants to be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations. This is all sounding very Obama-esque, but she doesn't give me Obama vibes. Like Obama was a unicorn at the time, and unfortunately, the unicorn was more glitter than follow through. It was lots of glitter, though. It was a lot of glitter. I loved it. It was beautiful. But I want more than glitter this time. Build an opportunity economy and lower costs for families. Okay. Now, there are some things that, upon further delving into, you might want to take looks at. Okay. So, opportunity. So she grew up. See, why does every freaking time, I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Woo. I'm better now. If you're going to tell me, as the president elect of the United States, the presidential candidate, why every time you tell me how you're going to help me, you start with you? That's some narcissistic shit in a relationship. On a housewife show, they used to call that girl out about it. Why you bring everything back to you? And she's like, I was just trying to relate to you. And they were like, yeah, you just make it all about you. Like you're not listening. We're not talking about you and your $62,000 necklaces. We're not talking about you. So for you to tell me as an American that our first issue is going to be to build an opportunity economy and lower costs for families, but then your solution starts off with Vice President Harris grew up in middle class home as the daughter of a working mom. What the fuck does that have to do with whatever the answer is that my problem is, that you already told me is an issue? So why do we keep having to go back to your origin story? And we're going to get that broke down too. You keep bringing it up, Miss Harris, ma'am. You keep bringing up how you grew up. You keep bringing it up. So that made Candace Owens ask a couple questions and delve a little deeper. And now you had the video taken down, episode 70, over on Candace Owens. Allegedly, it was taken down for some reasons. I don't know if you had anything to do with it over in the camp. Not you specifically, Miss Harris. But I'm just saying, your camp, for some reason, keeps on telling us how you grew up. Okay? Why? We didn't need that first sentence at all. Let's just... So she believes that when the middle class is strong, America is strong. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar? That's just like election circuit speak. When middle class is strong, America is strong. What about when the people are out from under the freeways is strong, then America is strong? How about that? What about that? It's feeling like divisive already. Like, why is that? Why say middle class? Why not just say, when all Americans are strong, America is strong? I don't understand that specifically. And Mama Curves brings that up often. She's like, what about the lower class? What about the people on a fixed income? Fixed income is not middle class, you guys. You know how many people are living off of $2,400 a month? Do you know? That's not middle class. Middle class is like $250K a year. You know what I'm saying? Like 24,000 a year. Okay. Anyway, that's why President Kamala Harris will create an opportunity. I'm going to say, because this is how she's trying to sell it. Okay. No, maybe I'll change it later. An opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete. So you're telling me an issue and then telling me I'm going to have to compete for some scraps and a chance to succeed, where everyone has a chance to compete and a chance to succeed, whether they live in rural areas, small town, or a big city. Vice President Kamala Harris. And then they go back and forth. So President Harris up here, and then they're back to Vice President Kamala Harris down here, has made clear that building up the middle class will be a defining goal of her presidency. That's why she will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans. As president, she will find and cut taxes. For more than 100 million working and middle class Americans, while lowering the cost of everyday needs like healthcare, housing, and groceries. Really? So you're going to be able to do that from the office you're sitting next to? And if you can do it from the office you're sitting next to, can't Joe do it from the office he's in? Okay. I'm asking for an American, you know. I'm just asking for an American land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. God bless America. I'm just asking for an American. If you can't do it from the office you're sitting next to. But when you get the office you're sitting next to, you're going to do it. That means the person sitting in the office who you are attached to that means the person that you're sitting in the office next to can just do it, right? So that means, why do we have to wait until January 2025 to have relief as Americans? Seems like super simple math to me. And I'm going to need the math to math, you guys. I'm going to need the math to math. Okay? Because it's getting a little out of hand. It's getting a little out of hand. Don't you think? They are trying, this is the gaslighting relationship that you're going to be in with the narcissist for the next 4 years if you let this slide right now. If you let this slide right now unaddressed, then you're setting the precedent for how you want to be treated in this relationship for the next 4 years. That's basically what you're doing. If you're allowing them to already tell you that you got an issue, that, and then you, even though we're in this relationship, you're still going to need to compete in order to succeed in this relationship that you're selecting this person to be in the relationship with. But then the special people are the middle class Americans, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, she's the one that's putting it out there like this. I don't know why it's not all Americans. What's up? Just weird. As president, she will fight for tax cuts for more than 100 million. You know, there's 335 million Americans in America. Did you know that? So why only 100 million working and middle class Americans will be lowering the cost of everyday needs like healthcare, housing, and groceries? There's 335 million Americans in America. So this is why it's kind of like, so you tell me that you want unity and you want to bring us together, but then you are like, but I'm only going to do something for you on Tuesday and Thursday. I'll do something for you on days that start with T's, okay? Because the 100 million working class is getting some, and going to bring together some organized labor workers, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies to create good paying jobs and grow the economy. But you've been sitting in the office next to the get it done person for 4 years now. Let's just round up. For 4 years now. But it's not till you get to his office that this stuff can get done. Okay. So now if I want to read this in its entirety, it doesn't even tell me that it's going to download a freaking PDF to my computer. It didn't say download this PDF to read her policy. That's invasive. I don't appreciate that, actually. Miss No www.kamalaharris.com issues. I don't appreciate that. You know how many things are going on in the freaking beekeeper states right now? So let's look. You see how many times it's in here? Because in no time does it say something's downloading to my computer. Let's see what it is. Ooh, 82 pages. A new day forward for the middle class. Let's see. Can you guys see this? No, I have to share this window. So here's her book of issues. Let's stop sharing this. And hi, you guys. And start sharing this. And let's share. Look, guys, so this is her policy book for economic opportunities. Okay, 82 pages. The plan to lower costs and create. Okay, so cutting taxes for working people, lowering food and grocery costs, lower prescription costs, lower energy costs, lower costs by protecting consumers from fees and fraud, and that's for lowering class for middle class families. Section 2, build an opportunity economy to help Americans. See, this is specific to Americans to get ahead and build wealth, okay? Help Americans buy homes and afford rent, invest in small businesses and drive growth, innovation, and jobs, invest in American innovation and industrial strength powered by American workers, create security and opportunity for workers, and build a care economy. Listen to all these words she's using: care, opportunity. Okay, like this, these are a lot of, this is very thoughtful, actually. This is, she's using a lot of trigger words to make you feel like this relationship will be exactly how it's written here, when we know for a fact she flip-flops a lot already based off of her previous relationships that we've seen her be in with issues. Okay. Protect Americans' ability to retire with dignity, make our tax code more fair, and promote growth. Oh, I have to look at number 13. Uh, Strengthen opportunity in communities across America. So that's it. Okay, so we want to go to, okay, invest. Oh no, I had you like that. So build an opportunity economy, unlock 1.2 million new affordable rental homes, strengthen historic and in demand, the most significant existing federal policy. It's okay, but what are you going to do? Is a demand for 30, there's currently no federal tax incentive to help homeowners rehabilitate their homes, nor support. Vice President will fill this gap by creating new neighborhood home tax credits, new construction for 400,000 owner occupied homes, significantly expand affordable rental supply by more than 1.2, building up supply, launching 40 billion local innovation for housing expansion. Um, Taking on algorithmic price fixing. Okay, stop Wall Street investors from buying up 2/3 of renters. See, look how she puts Project 2025 stuff inside her stuff, you guys. I was talking about that. Even in this 82-page thing, I thought it was just on her website. But why take any of your time talking about the ops? You should only be telling me what we're going to do. Why you keep bringing up my abusive ex? You keep telling me that he was abusive and you saved me from him, but you keep throwing him in everything we're talking about. Okay, let's keep going. Chapter 8, invest in small businesses. Number of businesses. Invest in American innovation. So they're saying thanks to her, we've already done some stuff. So she's getting some stuff done from the office next door to the office that she wants. But yes, the word salad lady, I cannot with her. Okay, Shay, it's good to see you, darling. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I can't with the word salad to her. She's too much. It's just nah, 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 nah. It's like she may as well be womp womp womp. Charlie Brown's mom, that you can only see her calves because you don't hear nothing she says. Anyway, but I was saying, Shay, how does that sound? It sounds crazy talk, right? Am I tripping, Shay? Miss Harris and Mr. Walls are telling us that she will do this, that, and the other as soon as she gets the office next to the office she's sitting at, while simultaneously telling us that she's already able to do stuff, already made tremendous progress in accelerating blah, already done the borders are already, so she gets to do stuff. But the stuff that really matters to Americans, lowering costs, make sure the price gouging doesn't happen, make sure this, that, and the other, all the stuff she's running on can't happen until she gets the office next to her. But all the stuff that's happening right now, Joe can't do the stuff that she's talking about doing. I just don't get it. I don't get it. They want me to be in this weird relationship. So workers create opportunities for workers to build a care economy. Now, what the hell is this? A care economy? What the hell is this? The care economy. Where's the care part? Strengthening the care. American families are struggling to find high quality, affordable, reliable care without having to choose between the jobs they need and the people they love. Too often, caretakers must make a difficult choice between spending a significant portion of their income in care, living, work altogether to caring children, leading to a factor women's decisions not to seek employment, with more than 50% of women citing it's more costly for care as a factor. Even with the working 85%, caregivers say that challenges with childcare, 27% private sector workers had success, $100 billion a year. There's a participation rate. They're fighting for high quality childcare, long-term care, and paid leave. So I told you, as a freaking financial professional, I already told you, check out long-term care. It's still it's September's Life Insurance Awareness Month. I'm a financial expert, including life insurance, and long-term care is going to be mandatory the same way they did Obamacare. They're going to make mandatory that Americans have long-term care of some sort in place because the cost is so astronomical. Okay. So let's see. So the doors are open, period, pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And then look, she keeps telling us what Donald Trump wants to do. And she always points out what your ex wants to do in red. It's another one of those scare tactics. They want you to be like, oh my gosh, if you turn back, if you want to go a new direction, because that's also because they want you to believe there's only two choices, but there's more than two choices. This is my personal 666 moment. I'm choosing. This is my personal little sandbox moment. I'm not participating with the duopoly this time. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So then she wants to strengthen communities across America. Oh, great. Rescue plans, local funding, protect America's to retire with dignity. Okay, what is she saying here? Unlike Trump, listen to how she talks to us. She's telling us in our issues that unlike your ex, I'm going to protect you and strengthen Medicare. But are you really? I mean, you said no fracking, and then you fracked the fuck out of every fucking thing. And stood on business and was like, I fracked every fucking thing. But my values haven't changed. I tell you, it's either word salad or getting gaslit with her. Okay? I just can't. I just can't. Okay? So look, and then she attaches herself to all the stuff that Biden be talking about and what happened with Biden, continuation of Biden's policies. Is anybody doing good under Biden right now? I'm just asking for an American. Okay? I'm just asking. Is anybody doing great like Tony the Tiger? Did you guys watch that movie about Kellogg's and Pop Tarts and General Mills and all the cereals? It's really a good movie. Um, Unboxed, I think it's called, because it was about how they went from the box as a breakfast staple of cereal to when they had the Pop Tart wars. Yeah. So I think it's called Unboxed. It's really cute. You should see about it. So, why is she keep on bringing up Trump? Why does she keep on bringing up Trump? Tell me what you're gonna do. Fear mongering, duress, coercion. This is not how you start a relationship. I'm not with this shit. It's a little triggering. It's kind of like you're literally trying to talk me into getting into an abusive relationship. All of these would be very red flags in a relationship, which the presidency is in a way. It's who do you want to be in a relationship with for the next 4 years? Who do you want to be in the relationship with? Somebody who flip-flops, who uses fear-mongering, somebody who says they're going to come after all their enemies and anybody who voted against him. There's other choices for your moral compass if you're interested in your moral compass. I've evolved beyond the lie of a duopoly. I'm engaging my moral vote this time and participating on behalf of my father, rest in peace memory, Daddy Curves, because it was very important to him that I voted and participated in this constitutional republic. You thought I was going to say democracy, huh? It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Even Roseanne Barr was up yelling about it. It's on TMZ. Constitutional Republic of America. Yes. Okay. So, let's see. Hey, everybody. Let's see. There's comments. Word salad. Yes, that's what it's like. It's like word salad. Way too many croutons. Nah, you're not tripping. For the first time. Yeah, we don't agree on everything, Shay B. No, we don't. But we agree sometimes. What's good, Zaleen? Yes, straight fear mongering. Right on. Well said. Or no. Is it bashing to tell my opinion? Is that what we're doing? I mean, and that's the other part of all of this. That's part of it. That's part of this duress I feel that I'm under. Every time I open my mouth about how I feel, they're like, oh, you're bashing, or oh, you want Trump to win, or oh, you do this. Because I'm saying how I'm feeling as an American citizen. How I'm feeling. I'm just sharing how I'm feeling put upon in this by other Americans who want to tell me that I'm bashing for saying how I'm feeling. It's like Emily the other night on Real Housewives of Orange County when she tried to tell Heather how you made me bring my own pants to walk in the finale, and I'm small as all these other hoes right now, I'm not the fat girl anymore, Heather. Why you tell me to bring my own pants and then tell me, oh, I wanted you to shine in my own pants at a fucking fashion show? And I was the only one in mom jeans, but you wanted me to shine? That's a little bit of gaslighting. But now when I'm mentioning that shit, I'm bashing you? I'm like, I'm bashing you for saying how I'm feeling about this that's going on, but I'm bashing. I just don't get it. Even in my own family, I'm like, well, aren't you? It's like I'm seeing this, this, and this, and they're like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, I wasn't saying it so we can no, 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 no. I'm just saying it because this is what I'm noticing about what's happening with this illusion. I mean, if you can install the person that is my choice, then it's obviously an illusion. My vote literally didn't matter. It literally did not matter in the primaries because the person I voted for took it and gave it who the fuck they wanted to have it. So my vote was usurped. And now when I talk about it, I'm bashing. So it's almost like I'm getting shamed into silence. Like nobody wants to talk about what the fuck just happened. I'm like, they just came and snatched my panties. They literally just came and snatched my panties. And everybody's just standing around like pantyless. And I'm like, excuse me, can I have my panties back? I did not give you my panties. I did not consent to that. You know what I mean? I'm like, and everybody's just okay with this. Everybody's just gonna let this person come and snatch my panties like this? Really? And then browbeat me when I talk about being pantyless and the fact that your emperor has no fucking clothes on, that you needed to come snatch my panties. My panties that's my analogy for a vote right now. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Let's keep up, okay? So that's my little analogy for a vote. Talk me out of my panties. When I say that kind of stuff, it's talk me out of my panties. Talk me out of my vote. You tell me all this stuff you're going to do for me. Oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then tell me about the Butch Lewis Act, protected pensions. Oh, great. Who still has a fucking pension? Okay. Not many. Can you make it small? Wait, let's make you small better. Okay, so what is she gonna do? Oh no, I was on the comments. I'm sorry. I had to take a breather. So I love you, Zelene. I love you and I love our dialogue. This was not specific to you. I'm just saying in general, this is my reaction when I was literally saying how I'm feeling. She happens to have something to do with it, but I'm literally just talking about how I'm feeling. So I'm not meaning to bash her. If it feels like bashing the installation, art has installations. I love installations usually. Usually I love installations, but not when it involves my panties. So are we bash VP Harris again? Oh my gosh. Do you like how Trump talks about her and others? See, what I'm talking about has nothing to do with Trump. She has people very well conditioned. Her opposite is her polar opposite. When you can't say Harris without saying Trump, even on her own website and in her own 82-page document, she tells us about Trump on every single page of her 82 pages. And she has the people that follow her and co-sign and subscribe to her beliefs, very well trained also, to automatically assume and indoctrinate on me, a person who's just talking about how I feel about how What just happened with my panties, with my vote? I voted for Biden. He did not have a right to just go and give it to somebody else without talking to me first. That's not how that was supposed to happen. I've been in this country my whole life. That's not how it's supposed to happen. That Cuomo guy got sued, Andrew Cuomo, when he was governor of New York, got sued by the Women's Voter League because he refused to have a primary the right way. You're supposed to get to vote for who's going to be your nominee. It's supposed to be a constitutional republic process. Anyway, so Trump talks about her and others. Trump did nothing for me. Nope. Life in general is hard. Yep. Trump says anything that comes out of his mouth, and so does she. I mean, it runs in their relationship. It literally runs in the duopoly. The relationship of the duopoly is where it runs. The relationship is a little toxic. Apparently, it is both of their jobs to tear each other down, right? Amen, Shavy says. Yep, I said, but we agree to disagree, and I'm sharing my opinions. Yes, I love you. It's all love, Celine. I'm right down the middle, but I'm not swayed one way or the other by all the celebrities that endorse it. Yeah, I don't think celebrities should have anything to say. I mean, you were literally probably just snorting some stuff or like doing some debaucherous sex act, perhaps, sir or ma'am. And now you're telling me I should or shouldn't vote for something. You're probably morally corrupt, also, person. So I'm just going to be taking my things from where my heart says to go. I'm not getting talked into nothing else. Okay. Zelene Turner says, I must agree. You have some valid points. And then I go left. But what do we have left? That's what I'm saying. My research is showing that we have some other options left. And even if it's just to let them know how serious we are about what we believe and what we want to represent with our vote. Even if the person that you vote for doesn't win, even if Trump doesn't win, you vote your conscience and your heart, hopefully, with that person. Even if Kamala doesn't win, you voted your heart and your conscience with that person. Even when Jill Stein and Butch Ware win, you will have voted your heart and your conscience. Even when Chase Oliver wins, you will have voted your heart and your conscience. Even when Cornel West wins, you will have voted your heart and your conscience, hopefully. Hopefully that's what you're voting. Hopefully you're not trying to vote on these made up, fear mongering, baseless issues, not platforms. I said this yesterday and now I'm freaking America today. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pointing out that I'm voting my conscience and what my heart says. My heart says that what's happening right now, I do not agree with. I do not agree with 121 billion American dollars going to support a thingamajig over there that they say can't even be won. Because when you're fighting something that's this size and you're this size, so you're fighting something that's this size and you're this size and you have to fight all of this, that's not you. So America keeps sending money to you, but you're still this size and you're getting, the things are going off over there. They dropped the bomb on you, baby. I'm glad. Ooh, I hope so, Shay. I hope so. I don't know who she saw, but I hope it's neither one. Because I thought she said she didn't see 45 becoming 47 either. But so UCOT is this big and RUP is like this. And they have all of this and you have this. And then 121 billion American dollars isn't going to change logistics. It's just not. $121 billion can never change logistics. No matter where you put this on here, I don't think that 121 billion trillion dollars can really help you when this also has help from other people too. You see what I'm saying? So I don't agree to money continuing to go over to those places to do those things. I'm not with WAR. I'm not with it. I'm not with WHORES and I'm not with WAR. WAR. I'm not with WAR. I don't know if that's the word I can say or not. I don't know. They make it. We can't say it. That's weird. But these policies are a lot of what's already happening and some more of the weird smile and not really telling me a lot. Promote growth. Billionaires need to pay their fair share. Tax cuts, companies, jobs. Governor Walz plan to reform international tax system so corporations can no longer get big rewards for shifting jobs overseas. Balancing Trump have to fundamental tax system. Something about the Affordable Care Act. She's saying a lot of words. I'm not seeing fundamentally different. Look how her answers keep on having Trump in the answer. No wonder people keep saying that if I don't vote for her, then it's going to be Trump because she's telling you that's what it is. That's not what it is. I love Jill Stein and Butch Ware. And that Angela Rye interview just made it all the more freaking apparent. As detailed in the preceding pages, they're charting a new way forward, strong growth for middle class, strong middle class. Now compare it to Donald Trump. You have to be more secure in yourself. That's like some insecure stuff to keep on bringing up Trump. Like you can't stand on your whole own. You got to keep on bringing up Trump every time you give me a response. First, you got to tell me about how you grew up and how somehow grew up in the house. Didn't her mom buy that house that she keeps talking about in Canada? Didn't she? Isn't that where she bought the house? How long did Kamala Harris live in Canada? Because she was born in Oakland, yes. And then she moved to Canada, you guys, when she was like 6 or 7 or something like that. And lived in Canada until she was like 17, I thought. So if her mom bought her first house when she was how old? Was it in Canada or was it in America? I don't know why she tells that story unless she wants us to investigate and ask the questions. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it does because I just think it's a weird way to answer. Yay, she has a platform though. Yay. I said if she got a platform, I would show it to us. And I did. Yay. I did not like that she made me download it. No, but she has a platform. Yay. 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 Now we're going back to the issues. She calls them issues. Tax cuts, make rent, bad sectors. So we just saw all this stuff. And then she's going to restore and protect reproductive freedoms. So it's stuff that she's going to do in the office next to the one she's sitting in. That's the other thing. I'm like, how are you going to do all this stuff in the office you're sitting next to when the person sitting in that office who you're attached to isn't currently doing it? Not a good look. I'm not sure who's in charge of branding, but this isn't a good look. I'm like, then you would have been better to say you didn't get to do shit. He wouldn't let you do nothing. But to tell me that he's been letting you do stuff, but you're not going to really do stuff unless we let you have his office. And then look, I told you, every time she tells you something she's about the issue she's going to talk to you about, she follows it up with what Trump's going to do in a different color. She's going to ensure safety and justice for all, make our communities secure from pow violence, secure the borders. Oh, really? Isn't she in charge of the borders already? And she's going to fix the immigration system. Oh my gosh. She's going to tackle the opioid and fentanyl crisis. Oh my gosh. And she's going to ensure no one is above the law. Oh my gosh. But then Trump's going to do this. Okay, Zelene, thanks for coming up. Aside from the economy, my biggest fear with Kamala is the border crisis. Yeah, I recently had a family that was brutally attacked by illegal immigrant. Yes, I said illegal. Yeah, well, hey, if that's what happened, then that's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry that happened to your family member. That is so crazy. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, people are crazy. America's already crazy. You letting the more crazy people in, and you don't even have their phone number or know where they live or nothing. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. What are they doing with the money? Now, I don't like our money going to Ukraine either when it should be used for Americans. That's what I'm saying. What are they doing with the money? What are they doing with it? And Sloan Bella, I love her, and she be telling the truth over there. I appreciate her good truth telling moments. Let's see. She's going to keep America safe, secure, and prosperous. She's going to stand up with her allies and stand up to dictators and lead on the world stage. Nobody wants to hear from us right now. We are doing all kind of, look, the international court, the ICC, the ICJ, NATO, everybody's spoken on what's happening. And we keep still sending money over to there too. I didn't even get to that number. And that's the same scenario. A little place that imposed its rights over there is going to go and now fight everybody over there and use our sons to go fight everybody over there. That's what she's saying. Look, she will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary to protect U.S. interests from Iran and Iran-backed terrorist groups. So she's saying that she will never hesitate to use your son, your daughter, your blood to do their interest over there, where those people get to go and do horrible things in the name of America. They're signing bombs. American politicians are signing bombs. Long love of destruction on bombs they're signing. I'm not participating in that. They can have it. I am not participating. From advising on tough decisions in the Oval Office and Situation Room to serving on the Senate Select Committee of Intelligence, ongoing transitional criminal organization as Attorney General, she brings extensive national security experience. Does she? Does she really? Or does she know how to send our money to everywhere but America to fix everybody's problems but America's problems? I'm just asking for an American. I don't know. Mademoiselle, hi. Hi, how are you doing? I'm so glad you made it. Yeah, I was just saying that if I was going to be eating crow because Kamala Harris does have some issues she's willing to go over, but she ends everything. Is this weird, Mademoiselle? that she finally tells us her platform, but it's really, she calls it issues. She literally, look up there at the bar up there. It literally says issues. She ends everything with fear mongering by saying, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but this is what Trump is going to do. Isn't that crazy? I am not with the fear mongering at all. But let's look. This is what I feel like it could have looked like as far as the platform page. This is how platforms are usually written. We already went over the etymology of platforms. So these are the things that are simple, bulleted, easy to break down ideals on which to move forward from. And nothing about what Trump is going to do is ever said in the ideals about what's going forward with Jill Stein and the Green Party. Similarly, on Cornel West, we've already gone over these extensively. That's why I'm kind of just going over them lightly, just for a bright light comparison to what we just witnessed over on the mandatory downloaded Kamala Harris's platforms. I could just come over here and see everything they're going to say on this site. For some reason, though, on Kamala's site, with no W's, they make you mandatory download her freaking 82-page policy. So that's weird. So back to Cornel West. This is another ideal on how it could have looked. Where you just say everything you're going to do. You don't talk about Kamala. You don't talk about Trump. You don't talk about Jill. You don't talk about nobody but Cornel West, right? That's a thought. I'm not sure. I keep on saying she should have taken lessons from Nene Leakes before going on her PR tours or before letting her website, her as in Kamala Harris, should have let Nene Leakes give her some pointers, because you never talk about your haters, because all publicity is good publicity. That's PR 101, ma'am. And I would never use space I'm paying for to promote even the name of another something that I'm not invested in. So for her to have so many back and forths to Trump's 2025 on her platform page was like red flag number 18, okay, about this relationship that she wants us to get in a, this is a narcissistic, gaslighting, abusive relationship starting off from jump. From jump. You're either love bombing me and then retracting your statement, or you're freaking telling me that this is for my own good because this is my the only other person that wants you would do this, this, and this to you. I'm telling you. So this was just options on how it could have looked. No mandatory download. That's just weird to me, you guys. Anyway, we looked at what Trump has going on. Then Trump's looks very much like Kamala's, with just the red, white, and blue, Very interesting. Why isn't the red all red and the blue all blue? They're both red, white, and blue, but the green is green, and the Independent Party, he decided brown and yellows, Interesting, huh? But he has some things going on. Oh, look, he does have a freaking mandatory download. It didn't tell me that was going to download anything. I don't like when that happens. Don't just put it in my world. I want options. I want to be able to say, yes, I want to download, or no, I don't want to download. Don't just be damn, don't tell me I'm going to read it and then put it in my computer. That's weird. AAE is in the house. What's good? Thanks for being here. So it could have looked a whole lot different. It could have looked a whole lot different, but So Trump calls his as an agenda. Let's look up agenda real quick and see. Is there one more? Yeah, let's look up agenda real quick and see. Because we looked up issue, which is what Kamala called it. And agenda. And we looked up platform, which is what Cornel West and Jill Stein call it. Agenda is a list or outline of things to be considered or done, an underlying ideological plan or program. Huh. That's simple. That's simple. Like, that's the, yeah, agenda is what we're going to, yeah. That's very a list or outline of things to be considered or done. So it doesn't have, an underlying, often ideological plan or program. So it's not comprehensive, is what I'm getting. Comprehensive to me means inclusive. Let's see what it says. Yeah. So, yeah. So we talked about the policy. We did a policy check. I promised I would go over her policies if she got some. And she got some. So we just went over Kamala Harris's policies. I'm still not convinced that she is my best option for my moral compass, for my personal 666 moment. This is literally, I feel like I'm taking the mark of the beast if I'm co signing on warmongering. If I'm co signing on warmongering, then I'm taking the mark of the beast. That's what I'm saying right now. And I'm not co signing on that in any way. I'm co signing on life and liberty and peace and a plan of success that includes climate awareness and immediate change to help get us that under control. And it includes not wanting to send my sons to wars anytime soon. And it includes looking for um, ways where the people, we the people, are really looked out for in this country, not just in places that start with you and Palestine and places that start with I. Okay. Because here in America, we need a lot of attention. Mama's yearning for a burning. Okay. Your mama needs some loving. America needs some loving. Okay. We're not getting none right now. We've been doing back and forth between the red and the blue, been doing back and forth between them, not getting nothing except for rug burns because they always want us to go down. Always want us to go down. They don't care about the gravel. They don't care about the rug. Just get down there. Just get down there. Because you got to compete to be with me. You got to compete to be with me. I don't work for you. You work for me. You voted for me and you pay me well. But I don't work for you. You vote for me. That's what I feel like has been happening with the current systems that's been going on. And I'm willing to just see. I'm willing. I'm literally willing to see what will happen if I don't vote for either one of them and vote for something green. Yeah, I'm willing to see. Yep. Because this is America and I get to see. Yes. So, okay. That was Kamala's policy. See, I have a list and we're doing a check. And then we already talked about 38 days. We already saw how she keeps going back to Trump. So I only have technically one thing left, but it's kind of two things in one. Earlier this week, Janet Jackson was asked about Kamala Harris. And the question was, will Kamala Harris, how do you feel about Kamala Harris potentially being the first Black woman president? Okay. Let's see. Janet Jackson. So, and Janet's response was, "Oh, I didn't know she was black. I thought they said she was white and Irish or something," was the answer to the specific question about her being black. And I'm very pro African American over here. I'm very pro that. I do not like black fishing. I do not like it. Sam, I am. You don't have to you never win when you play dirty. Let's just say that. And what's done in the dark will come to light. And so I don't want people to use that like I'm just supposed to vote for her because of identity politics, because she went to a HBCU and washed colored greens in her bathtub, which was very nasty. We've already gone over that several times. How if you ever do choose to wash collard greens in a bathtub and take them to a potluck where they can be served at a holiday party, never tell the people, never laugh about it when you're running for president later. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. There's hair in fucking tubs all the time, even at hotels, even at five-star hotels. Well, probably not five-star. I've been to a four-star and there was still hair in my room. That wasn't my hair. Okay. So, and that's professionally cleaned. So that's just nasty. Anyway, so she was asked about being black. And she answered the question honestly. And then she said, but, I haven't seen the news lately. So pretty much anything is possible. But she didn't know that she was black. So Kamala has a group of defenders who came out on her behalf, including like D.L. Hughley and some other black men, attacked Janet Jackson, a bona fide black icon. Like we seen her mom, we seen her dad, we seen them all grow up together, all in the same place. We know they black for sure. In this country, born, raised, everybody's from here. We know it. Bam. Are arguing with Janet Jackson about not being aware of the genealogy of Vice President Kamala Harris. And I'm like, that's so weird. Do I have to know the exact race of everybody that's ever been in the White House? I don't think so. And I'm sure I've been wrong sometimes. But Candace Owens, who I love, by the way, did an episode because she loves Janet Jackson. And in the going after Janet Jackson on behalf of Kamala Harris, it got Candace Owens going in some rabbit holes. And the rabbit holes included finding out a lot of things about Kamala Harris that, you know what, you might not have wanted to force this down our throat, because now we got way more questions than answers for your little pit bulls out here that are going against bona fide icons for your benefit. Okay. So we're going to look at Kwame Brown's channel, The Bus Life. Let me see if I can just find this episode first. Because if I can find it on on Candace Owens' channel, Owens 71. Because they've been taking down her videos that they've been taking down her videos that she's been doing about this. So episode 70. Let's try 69. Was it 70 or 71? Let me just make sure it's not 69. Because something was taken down. I don't know. This doesn't really look like a... Let's do 71. Because she'll do a little re-explanation also.
So, I'm a dick bop the up out of here. You and your freak off. You can get back to your freak off in a minute. You'll be next. You'll be next. You'll be next.
Okay.
About Kamala Harris's graphic violence and nudity. I mean, what? Well, happy Tuesday. I can tell you guys.
Okay, shout out to this and copyright disclaimer. Let me get to that real quick. And I'm going to put this on a hyper speed. So she's going to talk a little faster. So I'm not just sitting here playing all her stuff. And you'll be able to go over to Candace Owens' channel and see this live. Copyright disclaimer: allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, and personal tips in the balance of fair use. Thank you. We're doing some educating, commenting, research, all that good stuff. Here is Candace Owens, and we'll be able to see her thing. Let's see, settings. I'm going to put it on 125, see what happens. It's all the way up. Let's take a listen.
One thing, the powers that be really did not like our episode yesterday, because after we crossed 500,000 views in less than 5 hours, suddenly we got hit on YouTube with this bizarre age restriction. We've never been hit with that ever before. It said that we somehow violated the policy on graphic violence and nudity. I mean, what? We literally just read Kamala's book and pointed out a major discrepancy. Mainly that her grandmother, who she produced a photo of herself with, happened to die before Kamala was born. So yeah, seems a little odd, just asking questions here. Well, today we were able to secure the birth certificates and the death certificates and some marriage certificates, which confirmed that Kamala either made a huge mistake, all by accident, or she outright lied because she wanted to convince the public that she was Black. Do not go away, you guys, because this is about to get crazy. Welcome back to Candace.
Okay, so then she's going to get into the story
right,
about.
So let's recap. Yesterday, I can admit I was completely triggered. I was triggered by the manner in which the Guardian, or a Guardian reporter rather, treated Janet Jackson in a profile piece. It was very obvious they were trying to do the wacko jacko bit again, like they did with her brother. To remind you, Janet Jackson brought up in her interview human trafficking, child trafficking, and the journalist then decided to heavily imply that Janet Jackson was just nuts, to pretend that we have a child trafficking issue in this country. And then when the reporter switched gears and asked her about supporting Kamala Harris as the first female Black president, Hollywood's all got to get in line and support this woman or else, Janet Jackson simply said that she had heard that Kamala was not Black and that she was in fact Irish, and the media predictably went completely crazy. And here are some of the headlines here. NBC, Janet Jackson tells interviewer she's heard Kamala Harris is not Black, echoing election disinformation. Oh, love that word. Newsweek, Janet Jackson's Kamala Harris remarks spark Black backlash. The Independent, she's not Black. Janet Jackson makes shocking comments about Kamala Harris's heritage. And of course, the New York Times, Janet Jackson repeats false claims about Kamala Harris's race. False claims. So to be clear, all Janet Jackson said was, quote, "That's what I heard, that she's Indian, that her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered that her father was white." Okay? That is all that she said that led to all of this craziness in the media trying to paint her like she was some sort of a psycho. And then her manager, a guy named Mo El Marzi, that I'm showing you a picture of here, he offered an apology on Janet Jackson's behalf to BuzzFeed. He said, quote, "Janet Jackson would like to clarify her recent comments. She recognizes that her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. Janet respects Harris's dual heritage as both Black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. She values the diversity that Harris represents and understands the importance of celebrating that in today's society. Janet remains committed to promoting unity and understanding," end quote. And guess what happened? Janet Jackson fired him immediately and said that he was not authorized to make that statement at all, and she was not apologizing because she was not sorry, and good for her. I'm glad she fired him. I am so tired of people being so fake, having to apologize for something that should not have yielded any response from the media. In fact, it should have been the opposite. They should have went ahead and investigated the claim that Kamala Harris is Black, gotten to the bottom of it fully. But instead, it was a media pylon. And then, after being fired, Mo added to that pylon by referring to Janet Jackson as unbalanced. Like, the person who just worked for her came out and was like, she's unbalanced. I mean, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Then came me. I don't know. I guess I really am the person that has been in these streets, Kamala, because I decided to simply look into her genealogy, because why on earth is the world trying to convince me that this woman is suddenly black? Like, they just decided she was black because she's running, and because there is evidence that is true that her father grew up in Jamaica. And your race does not magically change because of where you grow up, okay? If I grow up in Sweden, I don't get to suddenly say I'm white, okay? What I discovered was quite startling. Now, I'll ask you, when did you first get the idea that Kamala was black? Well, you'll say, yeah, when she kind of started running with Joe Biden, and that claim really came from Kamala herself. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, they understood that. Kamala Harris published a book in 2019 called The Truth That We Hold, and presumably the book was filled with truth that she was holding. I had to look through it, and I saw this picture of her and her grandmother, clearly a black-looking grandmother, on page 282 in the photograph section. It reads, as you can see, visiting my paternal grandmother, Beryl, in Jamaica. Also on that same page, there's another photo of her. Again, you can see it's black and white. I'm not quite sure why it is black and white, but it says, when I was 10 months old, I visited Spanish Town, Jamaica. This is me with my mother and my paternal grandfather, Oscar Joseph. And now this guy looks mixed. He looks Asian of some description, but you can see the idea here is that she's definitely trying to introduce, in a manner of photos, things that make her race look more complicated. So I just decided to investigate that, and immediately things got weird, very weird. First and foremost, because it was very easy for me to determine via just a light search online that Beryl, her alleged paternal grandmother that you just saw, died 4 years before Kamala was born, in 1960. So last night we decided to continue our research to see if we could find birth certificates and marriage certificates and death certificates, which could further signify those points, and indeed it did. And it also raised even more questions about her genealogy, so let's go through those. Here is the birth certificate for her paternal grandmother. This is Kamala's paternal grandmother, Beryl. Okay, now you can see on this birth certificate that Beryl is spelled with an I. It's Beryl Magdalene. And you can see the reason why we know this is the correct Beryl is because the mother is listed as Iris Finnegan. Later on, we're going to show you in the book, she names Iris Finnegan as her great-grandmother. So that would be Beryl's mother. So you have the right woman. Also, formerly, her maiden name is Allen. That is true. It also says here that she's born in October of 1917 in St. Anne. That's the St. Anne parish of Jamaica. And again, you can see it says it is signed by Iris Finnegan. Very clearly, this is the woman that we are looking for. This is Kamala's grandmother, alleged grandmother, Beryl. It's also interesting, by the way, that it lists her great-grandmother as a seamstress, because Donald Harris, Kamala's father, wrote in a 2020 piece called Reflections of a Jamaican Father, quote, Miss Iris, that again would be his grandmother, was the mother of 8 children, too, was the sweetest and gentlest person one could meet, but underneath it was a tough farming woman who ran the cane farm at Thatch Walk, near Town, jointly owned with her husband, Mr. Christie. Okay, that's weird. So you're telling me that she ran a farm, because on that birth certificate it says that actually Iris was a seamstress, but whatever. Let's just park that aside for a second and stick with Beryl, this woman who died before Kamala was born, okay? Because I was feeling pretty certain that not too many people were going to be named Beryl and be born in the St. Anne parish of Jamaica in 1917 to a mother named Iris Finnegan. I felt confident that we could find a little bit more data, and in fact we did, okay? First, we stumbled across Beryl's marriage certificate, okay? So you can see that right here. Now the name spelling has changed. You have Beryl Finnegan spelled with a Y in the same way that Kamala spells it, and it lists their married dates as 1944. Again, you can see the parish that is listed is St. Anne Parish. This is where every piece of Beryl's life seems to take place. It reads here that her calling is a barmaid. And something that jumped out at me was the fact that she's married to someone, as you can see, named Lawford Newland. Okay, so Beryl apparently was married more than once, because Lawford Newland is not Donald Harris's father, but Beryl is his mother. So just to be clear, again, it says that she married a guy named Lawford Newland in 1944 when she was 25 years old, okay? It's important to note that that would have been 4 years after she gave birth to Donald Harris, Kamala's father. I find that to be very strange. Also, regarding Kamala's father, we cannot seem to locate, regarding Lawland Newland, the person that she married, we can't find him. Can't find him anywhere. We cannot find a birth certificate. We cannot find a death certificate. We can't find a news item or otherwise. I cannot find this alleged Lawford Newland that apparently her grandma got married to. We also can't find a wedding certificate for Beryl and Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown Harris. That is allegedly supposed to be Donald Harris's father. Okay, so Kamala's grandfather is Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown Harris, and we can't find a marriage certificate between the two of them. That's very strange. as speculated, we were able to confirm that Kamala's Black grandmother that she showed us in that picture died in 1960, before Kamala was born. I can show you right now her death certificate. Let's take a look at Beryl's death certificate, which confirms. As you can see there, it says that she died in July of 1960. It also tells us on the right-hand side, you guys probably have to zoom in on this, but she died of a uterine infection, uterine fibroids, due to a hysterectomy. It has her listed as 39 years. That's actually a couple of years off from 1917, so somebody may have gotten their math wrong here. But you once again see that it lists her birthplace as Saint Anne.
So this is the actual death certificate of of Kamala Harris's grandmother from 4 years prior to Kamala Harris being born. Yet, in Kamala Harris's autobiography, The Truths We Tell, sounds like it was just a truth she was telling and it wasn't really the truth when she said that she was standing there with her grandmother, because you couldn't have never even met your grandmother to be standing there with her with your asymmetrical bob and your hoop earrings. Is poor Kamala unaware that that woman wasn't her grandmother? And she's just going to be finding this out from Candace Owens' investigation. May 1960, Beryl. Okay, let's keep going.
And so this is a huge scandal. Just an absolutely huge scandal. Kamala Harris published in her book that she was standing next to her grandma Beryl. But grandma Beryl died in 1960, 4 years before Kamala Harris was born. So who the hell is the real Beryl? Who is that woman standing next to Kamala Harris? And do you know what I noticed about that woman standing next to her? She looks a lot like the woman that Kamala claims in her book is her great-grandmother, Iris. Now, that's Iris Finnegan. Here's the book with my great-grandmother, Iris Finnegan, in Jamaica. I'm going to give you the side-by-side of Iris and her alleged daughter, Beryl, who died at 39. Now, that woman on the right is not 39 years old. She's clearly much more advanced in her age. I mean, we know black don't crack. I mean, that's just a scientific fact. So I would put that woman on the right-hand side, who she tried to pass off as Beryl, and I think is the exact same person. I would say that woman looks to be about 65. And then it looks like she's more advanced on the left-hand side. The great-grandmother, that's the same person. When I just believe my own eyes, we're looking at the same person.
Hi, Emmanuel. Oh my gosh.
Those photos. How the hell does a person who is
I miss
the
you
vice
and
president of the United
Sebastian
States
so much.
pass off a book, claim that these people that are in her book are her black relatives, and nobody bats an eyelash or does even a peripheral search to recognize that the woman that she put forth is implausibly her grandmother? And by the way, I'm going to say this, and people can be offended, but the first thing that I thought when I saw the photo of her sitting on her great-grandmother's lap was that this doesn't look like a grandparent affection going on here. This woman looks like she could be working for the family. Quite literally, I thought to myself, this woman looks like she could be the help. And I thought that because there's a lack of affection there. You know what I mean? But there's no, in both of the photos, there's a lack of affection. It's just like a woman standing next to her. And I obviously know that that was a circumstance. When you're talking about a family that had a ton of plantations, which is the reality. She descends from Irish slavers. As a fact that Kamala Harris cannot deny. She descends from wealthy Irish slavers who virtually did own the town.
Did you guys know that before I had mentioned it months ago and before Candace Owens mentioned it again? Does that matter that, well, no, probably all our presidents have been some type of slave owner.
Into the town. It was Hamilton Town, then it was Brownstown in Jamaica. He had over 1,000 slaves, okay? It would follow that there would be help around the house. And I'm just going to put here as a question mark, not as a fact. If they're looking at some of these photos of people who became like family and they're trying to pass them off like relatives. Again, not a fact, a huge question mark. But my instinct tells me that that person is actually not her family member. And if it is, well, Kamala's got some explaining to do. How did she meet Grandma Beryl?
Lack of affection.
20 years after Grandma Beryl died. Kamala Harris looks to be about 20 in that photo that she presented.
Right.
Then there's another bit of a mystery, as I said.
And
Beryl married before her wedding when she was 25 years old to the missing Newland. If anybody can find Newland, please let me know. But if Beryl married at some point Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown, where is their marriage certificate? And where is their divorce certificate? Again, I'm only plotting the narrative here because I'm going to need proof that she's Black. The media has now made this a thing, and now you made it so much of a thing that you're attacking people like Janet Jackson when she asks a very reasonable question that you should be able to respond to. And now we have a verifiable lie that Kamala Harris told in her book, or a big uh-oh, because, you know, if I'm being nice, I guess sometimes you think when you're publishing a book that it's a photo of you and your grandmother that you never met or never could have met. Maybe Kamala was just confused.
Like, can you imagine if she didn't
know?
Her
grandma, but it was a grandmother that she had, again, never met. Media should be on this, and they should be asking her this question. How did you make this significant of a blunder in your book? And isn't it quite ironic that every photo that you have presented
we need to leave Janet alone. You need to leave Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty,
I don't know,
alone.
At the beginning of this investigation. But it's interesting that amongst all of the relatives, so many Irish white slavers, the only photos that she chose to put in this book are the ones that make it look as though she might be Black. And we have just significantly and without question debunked one of those photos. Also, there's something else that I notice about Beryl and Oscar, this alleged married couple, right? Our alleged husband and wife. Each of them are listed as having a lot of siblings. Oscar's siblings are named Hildred May Harris, Newton Alexander Harris, and Ina Doreen Harris. I cannot find a single photo of these siblings. Now, why am I looking for it? Well, because people take family photos all the time. Tons of the stuff is on the internet. I mean, one of those people lived until 2005. Ina Doreen Harris allegedly lived until 2005. I would just like to see a photo to confirm that these are Black relatives. Just want to confirm their race. Can't find a trace. Similarly for Beryl Finnegan has siblings too. Their names are Abraham Judah Finnegan, Noah Pendergast Finnegan, Bernard Washington Finnegan, and Gloria Eugenie Hill. Where are they? Or where are any photos of them, presuming that they've passed? Where are the photos of them? Got to be somewhere, right? Something very suspicious is going on. I don't know how it is plausible, guys. Do not allow me to gaslight us. It is not difficult, okay, for a person that is running for president of the United States to have a tidy background. This is my mom. This is my dad. This is my grandma. That it always seems to be the case that right before they run, they introduce like one or two photos that they allege are from their childhood. That this is my grandma. This is my mom. And if you ask any more questions, I'm going to scream at you and call you a racist, is completely ridiculous. We now have a scandal on our hands, okay? And again, this is the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep looking for these relatives. I'm going to confirm that all of these people are in fact Black. I find it strange, just as a little tidbit, that when you go on these genealogy websites, you can see that there's somebody managing the profile. All of the people that are managing the profile for Kamala's relatives are white. What interest would white people around the United States have in managing the profile for this Jamaica family?
Thanks for coming.
Unless what Janet Jackson said was true. And that these are her white Irish relatives, and she's been hiding that fact by trying to introduce some random photos of a woman and purporting that that woman is her grandmother. Again, if she's been with you throughout your entire life, Kamala, you could drop some more photos, but no matter what, you lied in your book, okay? You lied in your book. That woman died in 1960, and you were born in 1964, and I find that to be extremely problematic. Like I said, I'm in these streets, just like you, Kamala. If you want to come out and tell the truth, I'm going to be on this. Otherwise, you might as well come up with your storyline, because I don't tend to let go when I have the scent of somebody who's telling a lie. All right, guys, we will pause there. I want to remind you about Goldco. This has been insane.
So, Candace, rabbit hole. Yeah. So that was episode 71. Let's get to episode 72. More came out, you guys. You should have never went after Miss Jackson if you're nasty. Ooh-wee. Because Candace is on the case.
All right, guys, you can stop everything because this is officially the only.
Thanks for everybody coming through to LRGA Curves. Make sure you're smashing the like button, smashing the subscribe button on your way in. Ring my bell so you can get notified when I upload videos. It's wonderful to see all my Curvies in the house. I've been missing you. And I know I owe you lots of lives, and I decided to start with the one yesterday, but then this one today. And we'll be doing some. So thanks for coming through. AAE, Mamere, Shay B has been in the house. We love it here. I love her. Emmanuel's in the house. I love him. And who else was up in here? Somebody else had to leave. Zelene, I think Zelene, Mademoiselle Zelene. Yeah, anyway, Smiling with Aaron was in the house. Yeah. So we're having a good time here in LRGA Curves. So after Candace Owens was like, that's not your grandmother in your book. Your book is a lie. Your autobiography is a lie, ma'am. And for her to be an attorney general and a DA and not know that that wasn't her grandmother's picture to put in a whole autobiography, how that got by everybody until Candace Owens just showed us that that woman died 4 years prior to Kamala's birth, therefore could not be her grandmother. That can't be your grandmother standing next to you in either picture. It can't be because she passed 4 years before. Now, I know in Jamaica they be talking about voodoo and all that other stuff, but I don't think it's that happening. Okay? Anyway. Okay? Yeah. How you been all of those things, but you can't even get us a picture, the correct picture of your grandmother for a book before it's published? And she's right about the affectionateness in a picture. The body language of that picture, that lady was like this. And Kamala was just kind of standing there. And even when it's a little baby, I feel like maybe the grandma would have been smiling, or maybe she wasn't a smiler. I don't know. It's just too many lies. Yes, it's the lies on top of lies, straight up lies to get my panties, to get my vote. Tell me anything, okay? But now you got people like Candace Owens enlisting the world because she put $1,000 out to somebody who can bring her proof of something. So we're gonna look at that. Let's go. Shout out again. Make sure.
Podcast that you need to listen to today. Yesterday, I received an email from a woman all the way in New Zealand who decided to turn into Sherlock Holmes and fully dedicate herself to investigating Kamala Harris and all of these missing documents and all these questions. And what she uncovered is potentially so shocking and so alarming that we can officially close the $1,000 bounty because she's earned it. I mean, she's going to receive the full 1K. Because this is now getting dark and twisted, and my suspicions about Kamala Harris potentially pretending that the help was her family maybe have been confirmed. I'm going to let you guys judge. Don't want to get way ahead of myself, but do not go away, and welcome back to Candace. And Beryl, I just felt that the women, or the woman, because I think they look remarkably alike, I just feel that maybe this woman was the help. I'm not saying that because she's Black. I'm not racist against Black people. I am Black. I'm saying this because there's just a lack of emotion there. Like, I don't know if it's just my grandparents, or when they're with you, they're like super cuddly and cute, and this woman's just kind of very serious each time that she's being featured here. So anyways, what happened was we sourced Beryl's birth certificate, and then my instinct got a little bit stronger because her name was spelled differently in the birth certificate, right? So you see that it says Beryl spelled Beril, Magdalene, and we know for a fact, by the way, for people that are submitting other birth certificates, this is definitively the correct birth certificate because it says Iris Finnegan. And we know, based on Kamala and Kamala's father, Donald J. Harris, that Iris Finnegan is the mother of Beryl. And then we see that her name changes, the spelling of her name changes, rather, by the time that we looked at her marriage certificate. Suddenly you can see that the marriage certificate has her name being spelled with a Y. Now that, to me, signaled that maybe she definitely is the help, and I'll tell you why. So my grandfather, before he passed away, maybe like 10 years before he passed away, I got kind of obsessed with trying to find all of these documents pertaining to his life, because I realized, like, that's my ancestry. And I was having a ton of trouble mining his grandmother's information, because on each document, her name was spelled differently, as well as other people in the family. And I was like, Granddad, why is everyone's name spelled differently depending on the document? Like, this is very confusing. Why is it sometimes spelled Liza versus Eliza versus like Lizbeth? That was his grandmother's name. And he explained to me that they didn't know how to read and write. So you forget this. You forget that you had a world the majority of people couldn't read and write, especially if you were not considered like a high-class person. My grandfather grew up on a sharecropping farm, and so what that meant was, even if you had a name, if you couldn't read and write, you were going up to the register, whether it was for birth, whatever it was, and you were just telling somebody the name. You weren't saying like, hi, it's Candace, C-A-N-D-A-C-E. You're just saying Candace, and one person might spell it C-A-N-D-I-S, somebody might spell it C-A-N-D-I-C-E. If you do not know how to read and write, you don't recognize these discrepancies. So that actually I thought was a good thing in terms of like my idea that this woman could have potentially just been the help, maybe like on my scent. But I didn't want to be too convinced. Obviously, you know, I lean into the conspiracy mindset because we've been lied to so many times. But like I said, we did find that marriage certificate between Beryl and Lawford Newland, which was in July of 1944. And I want to be clear, guys, we know for a fact this is the correct Beryl. So we're not confused here and looking for more documentation when it comes to the birth or the marriage, because the correct parents are listed. You can see Patrick Finnegan is listed.
Okay, this dive that Candace Owens does is phenomenal. Okay, the things that are about to be unearthed are. So first, that wasn't her grandmother. Couldn't have been her grandmother because the woman died 4 years before Kamala was born. Kamala Harris's grandmother died 4 years before she was born. Therefore, the woman that was in her autobiography, the truths that were told, could not have been her grandmother, to the point where when Candace Owens video number 70, because you can see up here, you can see how it says number 72 over here. Well, in episode number 70, Candace Owens broke the story that's the revealed that couldn't have been her grandmother. They took the video down, you guys. They came and snatched that video down. Okay. So then in the video we just saw, we saw that Candace Owens further revealed that that couldn't have been her grandmother. Oh, and by the way, where's her grandfather? While we're talking about things, where's the grandfather? And so she did a reward of $1,000. And this woman from New Zealand was able to come up with this.
And so we know that Beryl's parents are Iris Finnegan and Patrick Finnegan. So that is the correct parent, the correct marriage certificate. But we had no idea who Lawford Newland was. We had no idea that Beryl had allegedly been married after she birthed Donald Harris. That would be Kamala Harris's father. That was like quite strange. She would have been 6 years old in 1944. Donald Harris was born in 1938. So this means that she got married to this guy, Lawford Newland, and she had a 6-year-old. So I thought that was quite strange. I couldn't find anything on Lawford Newland, but somebody on the team was able to determine that he arrived on a ship to New Orleans. He arrived in New Orleans, from Jamaica in May of 1943. So we're showing you here the ship manifest, and Lawford Newland is on the ship, and he is listed as, he's listed as a Negro. He's Black. It says his marital status is single. That would be correct because this would have been a trip the year before he got married to Beryl. So quite strangely, he went to New Orleans, and then I guess he at some point had to have gone back just a year later to get married. We still have not been able to locate the relevant marriage certificates between Oscar Harris. Now that's, again, Kamala's dad's father is Oscar Harris. We cannot find that marriage between Kamala's grandfather and Beryl. So that's like a huge question mark there, right? Like, where is that marriage certificate? If you guys find it, we're checking our emails. And we're obviously aware that there are a lot of different Beryls that are being born in Jamaica at different times. Some people are like, this could be the case of 2 Beryls, and they're sending us different birth certificates. Like I said, we know we have the correct birth certificate. We know we have the correct marriage certificate. We know for a fact that this Beryl did get married, and that Donald should have been 6 years old when she got married. So it begs the question, was this her second marriage? Did she have a child out of wedlock with Oscar Harris? Did she have Donald? And then did she get married? Because it lists her on her marriage certificate as a spinster, which means that she's not married, obviously. And then she gets married to Lawford Newland. And then at some point, they would have had a divorce if she remarried and got married to Oscar. So she would have had to have gotten with him, had a child with him, married somebody else, divorced at somebody else, and then gotten back together with Oscar and gotten married. Like, that's like a lot of movements. Again, we don't have any documentation, so we're not going to speculate. But Beryl in general, I'm not describing her as the dog that's not barking, okay? So some people were saying, well, I've seen on different websites that there was also a Beryl Harris that died in 1995, and maybe this could potentially be her. We've done the math on that. No, that woman would have been born in 1914. Like I said, we know for a fact Beryl was born. The birth certificates are probably the most relevant source because you obviously wouldn't have a birth certificate written years later after the fact that your child was born. It says that Beryl was born in 1917. But I started going back to that piece that Donald Harris wrote. Remember, the first time that we were kind of introduced to the fact that Kamala Harris was Black, it was because Donald Harris wrote this piece which came right behind Kamala Harris's book, Reflections of a Jamaican Father. And I just would like to, by the way, really stress to you how Black he was trying to suddenly make them. Like, I'm just going to read you the first sentence of this by Donald J. Harris, Kamala's father. As a child growing up in Jamaica, I often heard it said by my parents and family friends, "Remember where you come from." And then he goes on and he writes, my one big regret is that Kamala and her sister did not come to know very well the two most influential women in my life, Miss Chrissy and Miss Iris. Okay, so those are his grandparents, according to him. Those are both of his grandmothers, maternal and paternal. And the whole piece is about his grandmother, his two grandmothers. And he wrote, both of my grandmothers had the strongest influence on my early upbringing. And then in parentheses, he writes, not to exclude, of course, the influence of my dear mother, Miss Beryl, and loving father, Mass Oscar. Like, I think it's supposed to be like Massa, like Mass Oscar. Very strange. Again, nobody that I know calls their mom Miss Beryl, calls their grandmother Miss Iris, and calls their other grandmother Miss Iris. There's something about that that doesn't strike me as familial. But again, that's speculation. Doesn't matter. Maybe there is this strange family where everyone, like, they address their mom as Miss, and they address their grandmother as Miss, and they address their other grandmother as Miss. Like that, it really isn't up to us to make any conclusions. But that's the first and last time that he mentions his mother, Miss Beryl. Okay, which signals to me that my theory about her having died young, you're saying you're raised by your grandparents, but your mother is around, but you don't talk about your mother or speak about your mother at all in this entire piece, signals to me that this is correct and your mother died early, okay? You're not mentioning her for a reason. So then, this gets crazy. I get an email. Actually, I got two emails, but this one in particular made me sit up straight in bed. Like, I'm not kidding. I was...
You guys, this is going to be crazy.
I about to fall asleep, and I just decided to check the email box, and I sat up. I sat up just like this and started texting everyone, and I woke my husband up. I said, you have to read this email. This is completely crazy. It came all the way from New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand. I'll be on tour there soon, you guys. Get out there, buy some tickets, because we're going to talk about this now. That's the only thing I'm going to speak about New Zealand. But I'm going to just read this this email to you because it's just incredible. Kia ora from New Zealand, Candace. My name is blank. And after your first podcast about the family of Kamala Harris yesterday, I went down the rabbit hole all day looking for photos of Beryl Finnegan Harris's brothers and sisters as you asked. I was so intrigued and I wanted to take up your challenge. I could not find those photos, but I did come across a record that you might be interested in. I noticed on Kamala's birth certificate you showed that her father, Donald Harris, was 26 at her birth in 1964, giving him a presumable birth year of 1938. That is correct, he was born in 1938, just saying that as an aside. I came across the attached record of a 1-year-old child who died in 1940 in St. Anne's Parish. This infant's name was Donald Harris. You will notice the baby's father's name that is given was Albert Harris, and there's no mother mentioned. However, you'll be interested to notice that a person listed as present at the death of the child was none other than Beryl Harris. She has also signed the death record. What are the chances that Beryl had her own baby named Donald in 1938, and then was also in attendance of the passing of a baby named Donald Harris in 1940. Weird, right? And just to be clear, that we're going to show you that certificate because it would mean that there were two Donald Harris babies born that Beryl was around. One was hers and one, I don't know, guys, it's getting weird. I'm going to finish this email and then we're going to talk about it. I have looked for the infant's father, Albert Harris, and cannot find a lot about him. Albert's father name was Abraham Harris. I believe it's possible he was married to a Violet Fearon on the 6th of March, 1935. No record of her passing, so why was she not at her child's death? But Beryl Harris was. Was this baby Beryl's or Violet's? If Donald Harris passed 1 year old, who is the man claiming to be Kamala's father? Oh my gosh, chill.
Oh my gosh.
Sense. I'll keep digging. Chills. I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, open this email so fast. It was
guys.
Crazy. And let me just show you the attachment. Chills. I'm freaking out all over again. It's hitting me. It's a second wave here of what? So yes, you will see that listed here. This is a death certificate that is on the 29th of November, 1940, okay, in St. Anne Parish. That obviously is where her family is from. And yes, the child's name was Donald Harris. The child died before the child turned 2. So this would mean that it is plausible that this child was born in 1938, the exact same year that Donald J. Harris, Kamala's father, was born, okay? But can you pull it back up? I'm not done reading through this. Okay, so you have also, it says the certified cause of death is fever and a cold. And it's letting you know, it says the duration of the illness, so that this baby was sick for 1 month, rest in peace. And it does mention that that baby is the son of Albert Harris. And just as this person speculates, it is signed by Beryl Harris. And it tells you, because you're supposed to include this, the signature of the person who was present at the death. And it says Beryl Harris, present at the death. And that is at Mount Moriah in St. Anne. Now, I want to be clear, there is no place to put the mother's name. So it's not like there's anything strange here. I just think that if this is this Beryl's child, And this Beryl Harris was married to this Albert Harris, or together with this Albert Harris at some time. Like, that is the reason why it just says that present for the death. Like, literally, who else would be present?
You guys, so isn't that weird? Why would a person with her dad's name be, why would that person's mom be there, but you can't find the actual certificate for that person? It's just weird. And it gets more convoluted. Let's go a little more ahead. Maybe they're taking this video down now too. You know.
Dry goods store, and that she died in 1951 at the age of 70. Then we have Miss Iris, who he mentions, that's the maternal grandmother. We can actually get up this, we can get up the family tree so you can see this. He mentions Miss Iris, and that is the person that he completely fawns over. That's his maternal grandmother, Miss Iris. She was a farmer, an educator, he claims. And he also says, which I find to be quite strange, remember, he says he has the strongest relationship with Miss Iris, doesn't even mention his mother, Beryl. By the way, these photos are the ones that have been provided by Kamala herself and her father. I cannot verify that these are accurate photos, but we're just going to use the ones that they're given. But what's quite strange is he says, potentially just in the help, maybe like on my scent. But I didn't want to be too convinced. Obviously, you know, I lean into the conspiracy mindset because we've been lied to so many times. But like I said, we did find...
Sorry. I wanted to show you this. He mentions
Miss Iris, and that is the person that he completely...
So this is their family tree so far. And there's Kamala, and these are her parents, Donald and Shemaiah. And this is her father, and this is his father.
Fawns over. That's his maternal grandmother, Miss Iris. She was a farmer, an educator, he claims. And he also says, which I find to be quite strange, remember, he says he has the strongest relationship with Miss Iris, doesn't even mention his mother, Beryl. By the way, these photos are the ones that have been...
And this is Donald Harris's father.
Provided by Kamala herself and her father. I cannot verify that these are accurate photos, but we're just going to use the ones that they're given. But what's quite strange is he says that Miss Iris's ancestry is unknown to him. So I guess they never had that conversation despite how close they are. Again, she jointly owned the farm with her husband, Mr. Christie, and he died in 1981 at the age of 93. Sorry, pardon. He says that she died at the age of 93 at the age of 1981. That's Miss Iris. Then you have Joseph Alexander Harris. Now that is the person who we are to understand that she was married to. The Harris name comes from his paternal grandfather, Joseph Alexander Harris. He was the landowner and the agricultural produce export. And last night I needed to get some sleep, and we do use Beam. Obviously, sleep is so important. It's the foundation.
The family law records for Donald Harris for that time period. I found a couple from 1974, 1976, but nothing from 1972. And the cases I did find in 1974 and 76 were totally unrelated parties.
Okay, yeah, so we did take a look through there. We also, I called my lawyer and asked him, because, listen, we're exploring every possibility, like it was the 40% off. Better Sleep has never tasted fine. I guess, where were we looking when we were looking for these divorce proceedings, if you will, custody disputes?
So the family court for Oakland, California would be the Alameda County Superior Court. So I searched the family law records for Donald Harris for that time period. I found a couple from 1974, 1976, but nothing from 1972. And the cases I did find in 1974 and 76 were totally unrelated parties.
Okay, yeah, so we did take a look through there. We also, I called my lawyer and asked him, because, listen, we're exploring every possibility, like it was the 1970s, and sometimes they just don't digitize certain cases. I asked him, is it possible to get like a divorce record or a custodial dispute expunged? He said, no, you can get it sealed, but not expunged, but there's a chance that they just didn't upload it. And obviously, to be fair, Kamala Harris also had a lot of power in California, and so maybe there was a way that she got that removed from the public domain, but we are going to keep looking for that. I just now want to verify everything that Donald J. Harris has said. said, because he's now very much on my radar as someone that has like sort of confirmed her story. So we're going to stay on it because I just think it's really important for us to know who it is that we're electing into office. And I also want to say this, guys, like, you know, for what it's worth, I was not politically awake at the time that Barack Obama went into office. I was one of those people, I did not vote for Barack Obama, but I do very vividly recall the night that he won. I remember staying in my rented place when I was in college and like tears brimming on my eyes because I was like, we can, and whatever his expression was, and I thought that it was going to be this huge difference. And I do remember that people were saying that he was born in Kenya and that was being spun as racist. And then like very many years later, I saw an old document where like it was actually, they pulled that from what he wrote about himself in I think it was like his Harvard yearbook. I don't know, but there was something there. There was definitely something there, and it was something that I think people would have had explored. Wish that they had explored more or looked further into. Like again, I don't know too much about it because I've just vaguely touched it. But I do think it's important that we hold our politicians to a higher standard. Do you know what I mean? And for me, the reason why something like this matters and why I want to know everything about her is because we have already watched Kamala completely switch her character wherever she is. Like she totally is a chameleon. Like we've seen her do this sort of Spanish accent. We've seen her do when she's in front of a black crowd. Suddenly she's like in these streets. It makes me very uncomfortable when someone is so comfortable becoming an entirely different person, depending on what crowd they're in front of. Like you don't have to do that. And if you're doing it, it means that you are willing to be inauthentic to get to where you want to go in life. You're not yourself, right? You're just somebody that puts on a mask and says, what room am I stepping into? And what do I have to sell myself as? That is quite literally not someone that you want to have in office. In fact, it's quite sinister. And if there's anything to this, and like I said, people are sending me all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to get too in the weeds. There are people that are techies and they're saying like the photo of her and Beryl is Photoshopped and here's how you can tell. I can't obviously authenticate that. I barely know how to turn on a computer. I'm not the greatest tech person in the world. But I just think that if there's any piece of this that we can verify is a lie, then her entire run needs to be called into question. If you have the audacity to put into a book that somebody is your grandmother that potentially is dead, and I think it's a very high potential that this woman died young, given the fact that Donald Harris just completely does not mention Beryl at all, outside of one sentence in an entire essay that he wrote about his heritage. And he wrote this essay again because he wanted to sell to the public that he was black, which is the reason that he's including this Creole that you guys have now informed me about. The reason that he's including that again is because just like you got upset in the chat, like this is Creole. This is the reaction they want. Do you know what I mean? Like they want you to be like, remember your tribe. You know what I mean? They're leaning into this because it's a motive, and it's emotive and it's also a motive for them. And their motive here is to get people to invest in her emotionally, and that is why they snapped on Janet Jackson when she asked a very relevant question. It is of interest that despite the fact that we can say factually she is majority white, okay, she's majority white no matter which way you slice it. This woman is majority white. He failed to mention any white influence in his life. There was nobody of white influence in his life, no relatives of white influence in his life. I found that to be very strange. Kamala, her entire career, spoke about her Indian heritage. And she looks Indian. She looks like an Indian woman to me. That's totally fine. I don't have an issue with that. But now we're code switching and we're leaning into Creole and we're leaning into Spanish when we're in a Spanish crowd. Something's not right here. And I'm telling you, these types of people are dangerous. Okay, now people got upset when J.D. Vance said you don't want these women to be in office who have no children. There's something to that. Okay, there is a lack of compassion. There is a willingness to do anything to get to and to stay where you are at, right? There's a lack of compassion when it comes to a woman that is so hell-bent on getting to office that she will wear any character. So we got to prod this. And like I said, if information becomes available and we find out that, oh, actually there was a Beryl and this is all just quite ironic and everybody was naming their kids Donald and Beryl. And like I said, there are other Beryls born in different years. But we've been able to eliminate each one of these on the basis of wrong name on the birth certificate for the father, wrong name, blah, blah, blah. And I find this to be really suspicious, just incredibly suspicious. All right, guys, I'm going to get into your comments here. First, I'm going to tell you about American financing, and then we're going to read through all of your comments. Mortgage interest rates are dropping. They're now in the 4s. If you've been waiting to figure out how to get your finances in order, you need to call my friends at American Financing today. Many hardworking Americans are carrying high credit card balances that charge 20% or more each month. It's time to get rid of those. American Financing.
So that's the end of her. Let me show you one thing before we tap out. Thank you guys for tapping in today. And I just want to show you the fake Latina accent that Kamala Harris did the other day. I don't know. It's not necessary to be a comma chameleon.
I want to recognize Chair Baragon. Where are you, my dear friend?
This video has now gone viral on social media and has been viewed more than 3 million times.
homes and give first-time home buyers.
However, what caught people's attention was her accent that people said was not her usual voice.
So many friends. Well, I love you back. I want to recognize Chair Baragon. Where are you, my dear friend?
This video has now gone viral on social media.
Wait, no, you're
and has
back.
been viewed more than 3 million times. Netizens say Kamala Harris put on a fake Latina accent to make herself appealable to the Hispanic community. MAGA supporters were quick to chime in as well, mocking Harris for her slightly altered tone. Though this is not the first time the presidential hopeful seemed to be switching her accent. Last week, she attended the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's Phoenix Awards dinner, where she said hello to the crowd in an odd accent before switching back to her usual speech.
Allies intend to take our nation backward.
And prior to that, a controversy erupted over her altered manner of speaking during Labor Day rally in Michigan.
Oh, it's good to be in the House of Ladies, right? I want to thank you.
Critics have pointed out to Harris's code switching and accused her of speaking with different accents in different constituencies.
Part of what I believe in.
Several Republicans have mocked her, saying Harris is capable of changing her accent for so many audiences.
Who are across the aisle, as they say.
This year, the vice president's accent became a topic of discussion back in July when she appeared to speak in a southern accent while campaigning in Atlanta.
For these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders.
However, people have been slamming her accent switch since 2021 when she seemingly mimicked a French accent. Earlier this month, a reporter asked the White House about Harris's frequent accent switches during her campaigns for the upcoming presidential election. However, the press secretary bristled at the journalist, saying that the question was ridiculous and will never be entertained.
So that was examples of the switching that Kamala has been doing. We went over her policies today, well, her issues, and then she tried to scare us into what'll happen if we don't vote for her. And I'm just letting you know that, look, you can look at other people's vision instead of issues. You can look at other people's, you don't have to start with problems with me and then tell me I need to compete, okay? And you're installed. You need to be doing way more nice talking, way more honey girl, less vinegar, okay? Because you're doing a lot of repelling with the whole Waltz Harris ticket, doing a lot of repelling as far as I'm concerned. A lot of liberties are being taken with the grace that has been given to thee as an installed person. You're doing a whole lot of, look, you need to be doing better to try to get these people to vote for you, to deserve their vote. You need to really be earning it. What we just won over the 82 pages of womp, 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 it was more word salad. It was looking at word salad. She could have easily made nice little bullets like the other people made to make it nice and easy for you to understand, but no, more word salad. Okay? Very corporate looking. Anyway, that's not to dissuade you. That's just my personal feedback from looking at those side-by-side comparisons. It is amazing that you could get a whole book out and not realize that that's not your grandma. Somebody should have told you before you wrote that book down that that's not your grandma. Somebody might check on this. And then because her father used the same picture, now he's in on the shits too, but you're not talking to her? That's a very good question. Somebody said in the comments, why isn't her father talking to her? I've been asking that question too. It would be so easy to prove her blackness. Have her father at any rally. He didn't go to her inauguration as a DA, an attorney general, a senator, a vice president. He hasn't been anywhere. So it's even before her comments on the Breakfast Club about smoking weed, to which his response was to write that Letters from a Jamaican Father, where that made Candace Owens look at him even further, only to find that somebody with his same name had passed and that his mother was present for the passing. It's so weird. Oh. Anyway, you guys, that was our dive today on this freaking, oh wait, no, go away. Got something on my eye. Oh no. On this political views, because we have 38 days left until the election, you guys. Gotta pick your players. You gotta pick your players, okay? Yeah, she's not close at all with her black side. Give me 5 on the black side. Too slow, Joe. Ooh, that all goes with the current campaign. I'm sorry. But yeah, pick your players because we got 38 days and probably like 13 hours left now. Who's going to be your player? Are you doing Tim and Kamala? Chameleon Harris? Are you doing Trippity Trump? Are you doing Jill Stein, anti-war, pro, keep your money here, give it to the Americans, get Americans from under freeways, pro life, let the women choose for their body, immediately codify Roe v. Wade type, okay? And pro-life in as much as don't want to send your sons to war. Nope, don't want to do that. Does not want to actively participate in any conflicts. Nope, doesn't want to do that. Nope. Okay. So yeah, you guys, make sure you smashing my like button, smash my subscribe button on your way out. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. So you can get notified when I upload videos and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. Okay. Thanks for coming through, Curvies. I have missed you guys. I had this project I was working on the last couple of weeks, and so I do see my time opening back up so that I can be here more regular. I like doing it like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Monday, Wednesday weekend kind of schedule is what I have been doing. So I'm hoping to get back in the good graces of the algorithm gods. So go ahead and smash the button, share the video if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember what we always say over here at LRGA Curves. There's enough to go around, so go get some.